If you're considering moving to Urbana, Maryland, and you're wondering if you're making the right decision, what are the pros, what are the cons, what are the good and bad things about moving here? Well, that's what I'm going to cover in this video, so let's just jump right into it. Hey everyone, my name is Eddie and I'm a realtor here in Maryland, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you for being here. I make videos like this every single week about what you should know about moving to Maryland, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And before we jump into the pros and cons, let's go over some quick facts about Urbana, Maryland. Urbana is a massive neighborhood of over 3,500 homes in Frederick, Maryland, located in what's known as the DC Capital Region. It sits right on I-270, which is a major highway connecting Frederick to Washington, D.C. And niche.com ranks it as the #1 best place to raise a family in Frederick County and the 9th best in the entire state of Maryland. So what's so great about living here? Well, the first pro about living in Urbana, Maryland is that it's family friendly. Imagine this, you're inside the house making dinner, your kids are running around outside, making friends with the entire neighborhood, and you feel comfortable letting them do that because the entire neighborhood is designed for this type of lifestyle. And if you're coming from a place with a tight-knit community feel and you want that again in Maryland, this would be the perfect neighborhood for you. And if you look at the reviews from parents that have lived here for a while, what they say is that their kids have a ton of friends just on their own street alone, let alone the rest of the community, and that there's so many places for them to just walk to. There's sidewalks everywhere, there's walking paths everywhere, so it's really easy for kids to explore the community. And if you're driving through the community, you're going to notice kids walking around everywhere. That's one of the main things you're going to notice when you're driving through the Urbana community. And that brings us to the second pro of living in Urbana, which is the schools. The community has 3 elementary schools, Urbana Middle School and Urbana High School, and Urbana High School is ranked as the #1 high school in Frederick County. And it consistently ranks as a top 10 high school in the entire state of Maryland. And if you go on niche.com, every single school within the Urbana neighborhood area has an A rating. And Urbana High School also offers dual enrollment programs so that students can also earn college credits at the same time that they're earning their high school diploma. And Urbana also has an international baccalaureate diploma program, which is very rare for high schools in Maryland. And Urbana also has 56% of its students enrolled in AP programs. And Urbana also has a full variety of JV and varsity sports. So you have your football teams, lacrosse, soccer, tennis, all of the main sports that you'll see in Maryland, they have at Urbana High School. And if you have really young kids and you're looking for an early kids learning center, you also have the Goddard School right inside the community itself. And I would say that schools are the top draw for people that are moving to Urbana. Pretty much everyone that I talk to ranks it as their #1 reason for moving here. But that's not the only great thing about living in Urbana. The third pro of living in Urbana is the amenities. And this includes what the HOA provides, as well as just what's inside of the footprint of Urbana itself. And because of the massive size of Urbana, the HOA provides a ton of amenities. You have 4 different community centers with pools, and these are really nice pools. You have Olympic swimming pools, there's a water park with slides, a lazy river at one of the pools, and there's multiple wading pools and splash pads for kids. And these are very well kept. One of them at Stone Barn Community is pretty much brand new. You also have tennis courts, indoor and outdoor basketball courts, pickleball courts, more than 20 tot lots, and miles of walking and biking paths. There's also 3 very large community parks in Urbana. You have Urbana District Park, which is huge. It has free Wi-Fi, which is pretty unique for a park in the area. Then you have Urbana Community Park, which has a skate park and a pump track for kids. And you have Urbana Neighborhood Park as well. And the builders of this community did something very unique. They took the proceeds from the sale of each home, or a little bit of proceeds from the sale of each home in Urbana, and put it towards a brand new YMCA facility, which opened just a few years ago right inside of Urbana. And this is just what the HOA provides. You have a ton of other amenities within Urbana itself. You have dozens and dozens of restaurants here. You have a giant grocery store, retail stores, and the Urbana Regional Library. And you also have your mix of chain restaurants here, like your Chipotle, your Panera, Dunkin', and Starbucks. But there's also a lot of local restaurants in Urbana as well, like Pumpernickel and Rye, Akira Ramen, The Surf House, Mangia's Italian, and Cinco de Mayo, just to name a few of them. You also have 2 walk-in urgent care clinics right in Urbana and multiple doctor's offices, dentist offices right outside of your front door. And again, I could go on and on about the amenities in Urbana. It's one of the most amenity-rich communities in all of Maryland. And if you can't find what you need in Urbana, you're going to have everything you could need within 20 minutes. You can go into Frederick and all areas of Frederick within 20 minutes. That's all the doctor's offices you could need, multiple grocery stores. I mean, pretty much anything you could need up in Frederick. And the same if you travel south into Germantown and Gaithersburg. Pretty much everything you could need down there, every chain store, all the doctor's offices there as well. So it's really convenient living right in the middle of it all. And speaking of the location, that brings us to the fourth pro of living in Urbana, and that's that it's the ideal commuter location. With it being located right on top of I-270, that means you have quick access onto the biggest commuter highway in the entire area. This is what takes you down to Washington, D.C. And if there's no traffic, you could get there in 45 minutes. And yes, there's a lot of traffic on I-270. It's a major highway, but having it right outside of your neighborhood is really convenient. And if you need to go into Frederick for work, that's just 10 minutes to get into downtown, no more than 20 minutes to get to all areas of Frederick. So those are the good things about living in Urbana, but not everything is so great when you live here. And one of the biggest complaints I hear brings us to the first con of living in Urbana, and that's that the kids have to walk to school. And this is because Frederick County has designated a certain distance from a school as a walking distance. So from pre-K to fifth grade, that walking distance is anything within 1.25 miles of the school. And from 6th to 12th grade, it's 1.75 miles. And because of this, you see over 1,000 kids walking on the sidewalks in the mornings and afternoons when school lets out. I mean, it's a very noticeable thing in Urbana when you're driving through. And with that being one of the biggest reasons that people move here, it's also one of the biggest complaints from parents. And the second con of living in Urbana is the traffic and congestion. With it being so popular, with so many residents in this small area, and it being a cut through from all of the other areas to the east of it to get to I-270, it can get pretty crowded with traffic. And they've added a ton of streetlights recently to help with this, but at the same time, that slows down traffic. So it's kind of a give and take in that area as well. Now, the good news is as soon as you get just outside of the villages of Urbana, it starts to open up again. So it's not so bad. And I wouldn't say this is a deal breaker for anyone moving here. I've never had anyone say they're not moving to Urbana because of the traffic and congestion, but I expect this to get much worse as communities start to develop to the east of Urbana. So it is something to consider if you're going to be living here for a long time. But something that does impact whether or not people move to Urbana is the home prices. And I'd say this is actually the biggest con of living in Urbana, is that the home values here are significantly higher than the rest of the city and county. The median sales price for a townhouse in Frederick at the time of this video is just over $582,000. And the median sales price for a single family house at the time of this video is just over $887,000. And that's over $200,000 more than the median sales price for a single family home in the rest of Frederick. And Urbana is finishing up its final village, which is called Market District. NV Homes is building townhouses right by the Urbana Regional Library, and these townhouses are starting in the high 600s. And those are prices like you see farther down south towards DC. I mean, we're talking Rockville and Silver Spring prices, which are known for having townhouses in the 6s and the 7s. But here in Urbana, that is a very high price. But the thing is, people are actually buying them. So that just gives you a snapshot into the future of the real estate market for Urbana. But clearly people think that the price point is worth it because the inventory in Urbana is notoriously lower than surrounding areas in Frederick, and it's been that way for a very long time. It's the schools, it's the location, it's the amenities and the great things about Urbana that really drive up that price versus other areas in Frederick County. But if those price points are a turnoff for you, if it's not doable to move to Urbana and you still want to be in the Frederick area with highly ranked schools, then I highly recommend going to my next video linked above about the top towns around Frederick. And if you are considering moving to Urbana or any of the surrounding areas, let me know in the comments below. Do the pros outweigh the cons for Urbana? Would you want to move here, or would you consider another area? And if you're a local to Urbana, let us know in the comments below what you love about living here and what you don't love about living here. And whether you're 2 weeks away from a move or 2 years away from a move, it's never too soon to connect with me. The best way to do that is to go into the description below or the comments and click on that link to schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. We'll get a plan together for your move so it goes as smoothly as possible. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all of my videos about moving to Maryland.